the Jetboil MiniMo. It's not the cheapest, and it's not the lightest, but I think it's the best Jetboil on the market. Stick around and find out why. I'm Mike, and this cutie is our foster puppy, Julia. I love everything outdoors, and if you do too, you're going to want to click that subscribe button. And if you find value in this video, be sure to click that like button. Don't worry, Julia will be back later in the video. So let's start out by unpacking the MiniMo. The first thing you'll notice is it's pretty stout compared to a traditional Jetboil. The pack size is 5 inches by 6 inches. And if we take a look at the lid, it's got a place to drink from, as well as holes to strain pasta or something like that, and a hole for a coffee press. And if you look at the flip side of the lid, you notice that it has the Canister Stand. And if I pull this out, you'll notice that it has 2 ridges, one to store a 4-ounce canister and one to store the larger 8-ounce canister, which is kind of nice. So as we take a look at the inside of the pot, we have a Jetboil bag to protect our burner, and inside the bag we have both the burner and a pot stand. And let me just talk about the burner real quick. This is the same burner across all of the Mo series, the MicroMo, the MiniMo, and the SuMo. It's a regulated burner, and we'll get into the details of that in a little bit. And really the only difference between those 3 products is the pot size and associated weight. The MicroMo is 0.8 liter pot and weighs just around 12 ounces. The MiniMo has a liter pot and weighs around 14 ounces. And the SuMo has the largest pot at 1.8 liters and weighs 16 ounces. And finally, we have this plastic cup at the bottom of the pot, and it is about 12 ounces. It has hash marks all the way up to 10 ounces. So it's a good measuring device, also of something you could drink out of. So let's put this all together. The first thing we're going to do is grab our pot stand, put our canister on it, and don't worry if this is a little bit hard at first. These pot stands are real tight when you first get them, but they loosen up over time. Take the lid off of our fuel, and you're going to flip out the control valve. Just screw it on top. It's always a little poof of gas when you do that. That's okay. And now we're going to just light it, give it some gas, and hit the igniter, and we would light it. And you never want to light it with the actual pot on top. So once you have it lit, have your water in your lid, and it just screws right on. So now let's talk about why I think the MiniMo is the best Jetboil on the market. And I have to confess, I actually bought the MicroMo first. I thought it was the perfect combination of weight and size with the regulated burner, but it came with one major flaw. The lid doesn't stay on. It popped off in my backpack, and then I was using it on a guided trip, and one of my clients went to go pour water out of it, and the lid popped off. It almost burned her, almost burned the person next to her, and I thought that was a pretty big liability and didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I returned it for the MiniMo, and I'm glad I did. So the first thing I really like about the MiniMo is the lid. Not only does it stay on tight, it's pretty robust, and it also has that place where you can actually store the gas canister stand. And it's nice not having to figure out exactly how the canister stand fits inside the pot. The next reason I like the MiniMo is the actual pot size. And I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's kind of stout, so it's a little bit wider and shorter than most Jetboils and a lot of other pots. And the reason I like this is because I like to make my own meals, and then I'll be eating out of this pot. I got interested in this guy named Chef Corso. He's got a YouTube channel called Monty Boca, and he makes a lot of his own meals using fresh ingredients. So I'll be eating out of this pot a lot. And you don't need to have the long Sea to Summit spoon to get to the bottom of the pot. You can actually use just a traditional spoon and eat right out of the pot. It's known for its spoon angle is what Jetboil calls it, and it's pretty convenient. The other part of the pot that I think is really, really good compared to other Jetboils is it actually has a handle. Where the other Jetboils have that fabric handle, this one actually has one that flips out and it's metal and it has a rubber coating on it. So you can actually eat out of this using the handle, which is really, really nice. I find myself with other Jetboils always just kind of sticking my hand inside that handle and holding the pot with my hand. Rarely do I actually grab that handle and try to pour, just because it's kind of floppy and not really safe. The next part of the MiniMo that I really like, and really it's across all of the line, is the actual burner. It's a regulated burner, so what that allows me to do is actually control the simmer on it. I mentioned that I use Chef Corso's recipes, and a lot of his recipes say simmer it for a couple of minutes. And this has a really fine grain control of the actual burner, which is really nice. Another big advantage of having a regulated burner compared to unregulated burner like the other Jetboils is it works better in cold weather. They say you can use it down to 20 degrees, which I think is the limit of the actual gas canister, because what happens is the pressure inside the canister will lower as the temperature lowers, and the regulator is supposed to deliver a consistent burn no matter what the pressure is inside the canister. It also helps when the canister gets lower in fuel, the pressure is a little bit lower, so the regulator will also help continue giving you an efficient burn. Another advantage of having the burner that is regulated, where you can have control of the heat, is you can use other kinds of pots or frying pans. And I used to do this with my Pocket Rocket too. I would cook eggs using a frying pan. This has an actual pot holder that just kind of fits on top of here. And then you can use any kind of pot on top of your Jetboil. And like I said, you can really regulate the heat so you don't burn your eggs or burn other things on it like you would with the unregulated burner. So I've talked about all of the good things of the MiniMo, and there's just one major flaw, and I can get around it and I can live with it more so than the dangerous pot lid. It doesn't pack down 100% with the fuel canister, the pot lid, and the burner. You have to pick 2 out of 3, unfortunately. It's a major design flaw for Jetboil. I'm going to show you how you pack it the different ways, and you can decide for yourself if that's a deal breaker for you or if you can live with it. All right, so we'll take the stove off and we'll flip the control down. We'll pop our canister off and put our canister holder on top of the lid like it was before, which is kind of a no-brainer. I really like that feature. And now you have a choice. You can take your pot holder and your burner, put them in the bag to protect the pot and the burner, and put it away. And we're good to go. We'll put the plastic on the bottom and we're back to where we were at the beginning of the video. So that's one option. The other option is you can nest the fuel canister with the burner. And what you normally do is you take the fuel canister and the burner and you mate them together. You can put them in the bag to protect it again. And then this will fit inside the pot. Now, a lot of pots will fit vertically. The MiniMo, this fits horizontally. So that'll nest, and you know, it's a pretty nice compact unit like that. But you can't fit this in there. So like I said, to have the lid fit tight, you got to pick 2 out of 3 of those things. You can't have all 3. So I think that's a big flaw in Jetboil. I did see a video that did put all of them on there, and I'll show you how they did it, but I'm not sure I'm going to actually do that because the lid doesn't actually fit tight. So what they did is they took the burner and mated it with the canister like before, and then they took the pot stand and put it on top of the burner, and you can see it makes a pretty nice package. And then what they did is placed it in the bag so the burner was facing up, and then put it vertically into the pot. And the secret that they used was they actually took the canister fuel stand and put it inside the pot. And if you work it around, you can get it to fit. And then because this is a little bit taller, because this is where the pot canister or the canister stand would fit, it fits on top, but you can see it gets on top, but it never really closes. So you could rubber band it over the top and get all of these in, but I don't know if that's the perfect solution. Jetboil had to make this maybe half an inch taller and it would have fit perfectly. So kind of a design flaw. So I think I can live with the fact that it doesn't nest all together, because I'll probably be using the Jetboil in one of two ways. Either I'm going to be taking the fuel and the burner with me to cook either inside of this pot or just boil water for a dehydrated meal. Or if I'm going to actually use the pot stand, I'll probably have a frying pan with me. So I'll just store the pot stand with the frying pan and just deal with it that way. So it's not a deal breaker for me. It's not a safety concern like the lid on that MicroMo. That MicroMo did pack down 100%. It was able to nest 100% in the 8 liter or 0.8 liter canister, but that lid was just a liability for me. One advantage of having the stout pot that I didn't mention was the larger canister, the 8-ounce canister, actually fits inside of the larger pot. So you could nest it in, but then you would have to put your burner somewhere else, because there's no way anything else will fit inside that pot. So what do you guys think? Is the MiniMo the best Jetboil on the market? As I started out this video, it's not the cheapest unit. This guy comes in at about $149. The MicroMo is a couple dollars cheaper at $145. The SuMo is a couple dollars more at $165. So it's not a cheap setup. And I also said it's not the lightest. The MiniMo's 14 ounces. Even the one designed for backpacking, the MicroMo, is still 12 ounces. That doesn't even compare to my MSR Pocket Rocket 2 and a titanium pot. That's going to be half the weight. But I think where this excels is it's in versatility. Number one is the design of the pot. You're able to boil water. You're also able to prepare meals out of this, and you're able to easily eat meals with that nice spoon angle right out of the pot, along with the very robust handle. So like all Jetboils, it boils water really fast, so you know you're going to get that quality. But unlike other Jetboils that are unregulated, this regulated burner is really going to allow you to control your heat, cook a wide variety of meals. Also, it's going to be better performing in cold weather. And I've also read that the MiniMo is the best unit of the Jetboils in wind. So let me know what you think in the comments. Is this the best Jetboil on the market? Is it the best canister stove on the market? Or should I go right back to my MSR Pocket Rocket with that titanium pot? Because the weight is king. Let me know in the comments. So I promised to get Julia back on. And just like you should always buy from your local gear shops, you should consider adopting a dog from your local rescue. There's a lot of dogs out there that need your help. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to click that like button. And if you want to see other outdoor adventures, gear reviews, how-tos, subscribe to my channel. That's it for now. I'll see you guys outside.